Hi everyone, I'm Sadaf Akhtar and I've put together a mindfulness and meditation series of sessions for the Shaman Women Centre on their mindfulness course. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you're well and enjoying the weather because it seems to be getting a bit more better and exactly how I enjoy it. So this program is developed by myself and delivered twice a week and posted on Shaman Women Centre's Facebook and Instagram account. So make sure you drop them a follow or like their content to take full advantage of their mindfulness program. And also, why not drop me a follow too on my business page, Resonate Success, on Instagram and Facebook to keep up to date with my tips, activities, and events. So, let's talk about feeling mindfully. Last week, we looked at how we can listen more mindfully, and continuing with the theme of our senses, we're going to look at how we can actually feel more mindfully in our workplace or in our personal lives and our day-to-day lives. So, one thing is for sure, we all lead really busy lives, and without a doubt, this can really take a toll on us in many different ways. And it can also allow unhelpful feelings to reside within us and can manifest in so many different ways, affecting the way we function on a day-to-day basis and the way we interact with others. And I'm sure you agree, as humans, we're great at feeling negative or perceiving situations negatively. We're really good at that. But we aren't always as good at feeling more positive about situations or interactive positively in the world that we live in the way that we would really want to do so. Reason being, our conscious mind is really great for circulating those stress hormones, and we can really get stuck in that negative mindset if we're not aware. So, when other people around us, for example, feel stressed at work, we can end up absorbing those feelings and we can begin to mirror those negative thoughts and behaviours into our own lives, into our work lives as well. So, what we need to do is get back into that positive part of our brain, up here, the intellectual mind. And that's where we produce those positive neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, for example. And when we do, we become more productive in our work, we are more creative and we plan better and we get to meet those deadlines. But what's interesting here, if we explore a little bit further, is what we take in terms of our feelings, our emotions, of others, and how this can actually affect our own performance, whether it's at work or out of work. I sincerely believe we really need to focus on feeling the positives just that little bit more and begin to feel more mindful at work and out of work too. So, what do I mean by this? Well, we need to start learning to bring that awareness to a concept that will really get things back into perspective. The concept I'm referring to is what we can and what we cannot control. It's a really simple yet powerful concept if we use it correctly. It can save us from so many unhelpful thoughts and get us out of that primitive panic brain, that primitive part of our brain which resides more on the lower side. So I believe by simply breaking everything down into what we can and what we can't control, we begin to feel more positive around situations we encounter by observing our feelings and recognizing why we feel the way we actually do. By doing this, we begin to notice how we accumulate those unhelpful feelings and thoughts, and we begin to pile these into our stress bucket. And how we can simply shift our perspective to a more realistic outlook and remind ourselves by saying, I can't control the outcome, so let me just put it on that shelf. Or I can control this. What can I do to get that positive result and essentially save myself from anxiety, unnecessary anxiety and stress? I mean, we all do it. We all do it. Even those people who maybe practice mindfulness and meditation and other positive kind of self-care activities and exercises, we all suffer from it now and then. It's just about reminding ourselves that there are ways of doing this and being aware of that, bringing it into our forefront of our conscious minds. So what I wanted to do today was look at a real life example. I wanted us to look at this together. Now, for the name of the person, I've changed due to maintain their anonymity, should I say. And perhaps this case study example resonates with you in some way. And I'd love to see your comments below. So feel free to add them and share your thoughts and feelings about anything you've encountered or experienced, and how perhaps we can learn from each other together. So let's look at Ricky. Ricky has a report to write and he's got a strict deadline of 1 week. And before he delivers to his stakeholders, he always gets things just as he needs to be. And he really prides himself on how in the past he's been able to effortlessly slide through those presentations without a major hitch. And he's good at thinking on his feet. And as usual, he puts a lot of effort into the context, into the content of his presentation in order to get his company's corporate message across. Now, let's see what happens during the presentation. So during the presentation, he's beginning to feel overwhelmed because on this instance, he was unable to give a more in-depth analysis to one particular stakeholder in particular. Now, what happens is this actually throws him off. His mind begins to go blank and he feels his heart beginning to race and a tightness in his stomach beginning to develop. And then what happens, his mind begins to wander and he becomes more and more anxious and he can't understand why he's been asked questions that are not specifically related to the presentation. He felt he had everything under control. Now, post the presentation, after the presentation, this is what happens. He ends up taking the next few days off as he feels depressed and he's unsure of the end result. He doesn't know what's going to happen. Perhaps this sounds familiar to you. Perhaps you're an employer who's experienced this with an employee, or maybe you're an employee who's had to go through this themselves and relate to it. I've been through this as well. I'm sure many of you have as well. So let's see what can happen. Let's break this down and by applying the concept of what we can and what we cannot control into this scenario and see how things could have been potentially different in terms of outcome. So, if Ricky had changed the way he felt about his delivery of his presentation, things could have been a little bit different. But how? So let's have a look at what does Ricky have no control over? Well, number one, writing that report, it had to be done within the deadlines. Number two, the deadline can't be changed because it's been set by his manager and his department. Number three, the audience. There's a new stakeholder and he's just got to do his thing. He's got to deliver as he normally does. He doesn't know much about this stakeholder, but he just has a task at hand and he has to do it. He can't control the questions posed, number four, should I say, by the actual stakeholder because he doesn't have that capacity to, or that awareness of what's going to happen in the future. None of us have that understanding of what questions we can get unless we receive a list beforehand, and that's not always the case unless it's an interview on television or an interview for something else. And another thing he can't control is the feedback or the outcome of the presentation. So these are things that he can't control within this scenario. Now, let's look at what he does have control over. Number one, prioritising his workload. So he's able to set things in order, what needs to go first and what he can leave behind, his short, medium and long-term priorities. So in this case, his priority was to get this presentation done. Number two, putting together the report, again, within that time frame and what he wants to put into it, the approach he wants to use and how he wants to come across and how he wants to deliver the key priorities within the corporate message that he wants to deliver. And number three, what he can control, the way he perceives the task. Now this is interesting. Does he have a growth mindset that encapsulates all potential outcomes, whether they're positive or negative? Or has he kind of just learned to just go with the flow and expect things to be positive all the time, because realistically, if we think about it, not everything is. Now, what else does he have control over? Well, his self-belief in the realization that he can deliver only to the best of his ability. So these are things, how he perceives this situation or any other situations. So what we see here is the time he's taken off due to stress and anxiety is directly related to his worrying and his anxiety about the things he cannot control. How many of us go through this? How many of us take a day off or don't feel up to work because we're feeling really anxious about what awaits us when we get back to work, or what's happening the next day, or potentially, having a meeting about something important? But in his case, he's worrying about the unknown, the feedback is going to receive from the stakeholder and the stakeholders as a whole. This has begun to affect his self-belief. His self-esteem is impacted negatively. His motivation has gone down. He no longer feels worthy as he begins to question his own capabilities, what he's able to deliver, what he's able to do. And in the past, he's not had this situation arise. Well, you get the feeling, you get the understanding of what we're seeing here. His feelings are spiraling out of control because of the questions he was asked by the new stakeholder, and it kind of threw him off guard. Now, reminding ourselves often that we cannot control what happens after an interaction, and this is really important here, this point, because whatever happens afterwards is out of our control, whether it be positive or negative. Now, let's see what happens when Ricky goes back to work. Well, on his return to work and after his well-being check with his manager, he finds out that the new stakeholder is actually really pleased with his presentation and wanted to know more, hence why he was asking questions that were out of the remit of the presentation, and that the stakeholders also willing to invest in this new idea. So what we can take away from here is things aren't always as they seem. Not every comment we deem as challenging is negative, because remember, as long as you've tried your best, that's what counts, and that's what's really important here. So it's important to remind ourselves of this point. So the takeaway here is just concentrate on the things that you can control, and don't let your anxious mind get you stuck in that vicious downward spiral. We've all been there. We get stuck in it and it's really hard to get out, as we cannot control the outcome. But what we can control is how we respond with our feelings more mindfully. So let's put things into perspective here. Let's look at other things that we have no control over. Number one, the weather. We can't control the weather, so why do we worry about it? We can't control what's happening abroad, for example, but why do we still worry about it? We can't control when lockdown is lifted. It's out of our hands. But why do we worry about it? Because things get hard, things get challenging, and we become worried about the future and what that may bring. And if you sit in exams or submitting coursework or CPDs or anything like that final assessment, we worry about what marks we might get. That's determined by the exam markers and the marking system itself. You've done what you can, so why do we worry? All we can do is wait for the result and deal with it then. And how people react to what we say or do, we can't control that. What we can control is what comes out of our mouth, but we cannot control what comes out of other people's minds and in regards to you. So let's look at some of the things that we can control. How we respond to negative comments, for example. We can control that. How we potentially approach a situation. We can control that. How we deal with challenges that we face. We have that control. And how we feel about situations. If we take a breath, we stop, breathe and relax, and give ourselves time to really see what we feel about a particular situation. And how we can control how we approach life in general. And we can learn to control how we perceive others and how we react to positives and negatives in all spheres of our lives. So, let me know in the comments below how you feel about what you can and cannot control and what you felt beneficial about today's session. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share them. So let's do something. Why not grab yourself a pen and paper? Let me give you a short activity to do in the next few days or the next week. And by bringing awareness of what you can and cannot control, I believe this eases us from the extent of that gripping hold of anxiety that we suffer in varying degrees in our lives. So, if you've got your pen and paper, just make a note. Make a list of what, on one side of the paper, what you can control, and on the other side are the things you can't control in your daily lives. And everyone's list is going to be different to the other. Then notice how much tension or anxiety you feel at things that you can't control, and then place them into that can't control why do I worry shelf or pot. Then allow yourself to let go of unhelpful thoughts that can affect your mind and body in many, many ways. I find this helps me and it's really useful, but in order for it to be effective, I have to do it regularly, because otherwise I lose control of my mind in terms of, not literally, but I lose control of what I can't, the understanding of what I can control and what I cannot control. Then, what's really important as well as part of this process, make sure you engage in some mindful practice, such as meditation or visualization, to empty that stress bucket where we accumulate all our worries and stresses that we carry throughout the day. So, with that, let's finish off with a lovely visualization to help you to align your body and mind more positively. So, let's get visualizing. So today we're going to work on reducing any anxiety you may be feeling right now. I would like you to start by taking a moment to relax your body. Just noticing any tension in your head, shoulders, torso, arms and fingers, in your legs and feet, and your toes. And just find a position that feels comfortable for you. It doesn't matter if you're standing or sitting, or maybe even lying down. Now, in your own time, if you'd like to slowly close your eyes and rest your hands, maybe on your knees or beside you, as you get comfortable. Now, take a few moments to bring awareness to your body and any sensations you may be feeling right now, without any judgment. Just noticing tense areas and slowly beginning to relax those areas. Releasing any tension you may be feeling right now in this moment as you breathe. Just allowing your body to just let go and relax. This is your time. Now, just notice what you're feeling right now. Are you happy, sad, or something in between? As you relax there, allow any stress or tension to flow out of you. take a deep breath in and exhale all the way out. And with each breath, just notice how your body is becoming calm and comfortable. Now let go of any tension in your eyebrows and your eyes. Relax your eyes back and imagine that they are hollow. Relax the muscles between your cheek and nose deeply, allowing all tension to flow out and away. Just relax your jaw. Just relax in the comfortable space that surrounds you right now. Once you feel relaxed and centered, I would like you to start to bring to mind one of your favorite places, somewhere that makes you feel peaceful and puts a smile on your face. This can be a place you've been to or heard about, or perhaps it's somewhere new. Maybe you're thinking of a beautiful beach with golden sand, or an ancient woodland with cool shade. Wherever it may be, I'm sure it evokes feelings of deep relaxation as you relax there, curious as to how this beautiful place makes you feel. This is your place. Wherever you may be, in this moment, you can easily lose track of time because you don't need to worry about anything. This is your time for you. And just noticing any sensations you may be feeling right now. Maybe you notice the smell of the salty sea air, or the scent of flowers, perhaps, or maybe something else. How does it make you feel? Safe, calm, excited, or something else? Your mind can easily create that place which is free from tension and stress. Whatever is happening in your life, this is your place where you are calm and relaxed because you are confident and capable of more than you could ever imagine. Your mind can easily take away from you the tension that you carry. And perhaps your mind is wandering, but that's okay because this is normal. The more you practice, the more you're able to find that place that you create whilst you relax. Remind yourself how you're able to hold on to thoughts that have no benefit, and reinforce the idea that you can let go and allow those unhelpful thoughts to just evaporate far away. Now, wherever this special peaceful place is for you, take some time to imagine it just as you want it to be. Once you have that special place in your mind, imagine that you're in this beautiful place. What do you feel? Perhaps you take a walk and look at the lovely, peaceful surroundings. Be in this moment. This is your moment where you don't have to worry about a single thing. What do you see around you? What do you smell in the air? Can you smell the trees or soil of the forest floor beneath you, or the fresh sea air? As you walk lazily around your special place, exploring everything with peace and curiosity, because you are calm, relaxed. Each step you take, all your worries begin to fade away. Now, bring awareness to what you may be able to smell into your visualization. Smell the air where you are in this beautiful place, if you want to. And if you want to, reach out and maybe touch something that's beautiful and makes you smile. And how does this make you feel? As you relax there, enjoying these moments all for yourself in your special place that you created. How does it make you feel? Now, as you relax there, noticing how gentle the atmosphere is around you. Perhaps you can feel the ground beneath you or the warm air on your skin. How does it make you feel? And don't worry if it's a little difficult. It takes time and practice. Now, bring back attention to your breath. Just noticing that gentle rise and fall of your belly as you relax there, calm and enjoying these moments. Take a moment to listen to the sound of your breath for a few moments. What sounds do you hear around you in your special place that you have created all for yourself, where you have control? Perhaps you can hear birds chirping or the gentle rustle of leaves, or even the reassuring sound of silence, where all sounds come from and return to. Take a moment now to enjoy and notice how you feel right now as you relax there calmly and peacefully, reminding yourself that you have control. This is your special place and you can come back to it whenever you choose to. Your subconscious mind now knows where it is. Now, in your own time, I'd like you to bring back awareness to your body and slowly begin to open your eyes. Just take a moment to notice how you feel right now and how relaxed you are. And slowly and gently take these feelings of calm and relaxation with you throughout the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed that and found that relaxing. And I'm going to leave you with a quote by Cody Keplinger. You can't control everything. Sometimes you just need to relax and have the belief that things will work out. Let go a little and just let life happen. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Please feel free to drop a comment or share your thoughts below. In the next session, we'll be looking at how we can see more mindfully, enjoying the present moment, noticing colour, beauty in our everyday lives. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.